everybody. I'm not sure really if I am live or not. I look a bit tired, so um, let me actually see. Okay, so do let me know if you can see me or if you can't see me. So I've decided I'm going to come tonight just because I'm literally going to have an absolute chaos tomorrow. I'm going to be taking kids. Um, I'm actually don't know if I'm live or not. Hope I am. Anyway, so in this video, I would love to talk about it's how to sustain food intake when you reduce your body fat, and also what is happening in your okay, started being and also what is happening in your body with your brain as well when you start losing that weight, and also how we can start managing um, our body weight up to the maintenance level when we reach the point that we are happy at. So first thing is what's going to happen kind of when we're gradually going to start reducing, obviously, like our body weight. So we've kind of, let's say, when we are on the right track and we can slowly notice that weight is slowly going down, and what is going to happen, we're going to slowly start to be kind of less aware of, for example, if you're tracking, then obviously there is something to control. But if you are not tracking what is happening, then we are slowly start going back to our old habits. That's just basically something that automatically happens. And what we are going to do then, we are going to slightly increase our food intake. But also what is going to happen if you're really not aware of your movement or energy expenditure, we are more likely, if we're in deficit for, let's say, longer period of time, that we are going to start reducing our movement or our physical activity. And this is basically something what happens that you maybe noticed, oh, okay, I've plateaued, I haven't changed for a while, and then you get into that panic mode. I've been in that panic mode so many times, and then what happens, we kind of start to make like huge changes, such as like going in a larger deficit or start skipping meals, and then we're basically going into that chaotic behavior that we were doing before to kind of to prevent that weight gain that we are all so scared about. But what I'm just going to tell you, if you are literally just to take again a step back and just start observing it, observe your reactions, notice that you are doing exactly the same thing that you were doing before. So again, I'm just going to tell you the difference that's going to make is that you take that as just an observation that you are going to be okay. You might have plateaued. You might, let's say, ate more carbohydrates than normally. You might have ate more, let's say, processed foods that are going to increase the water retention, which is going to give you that feeling of that you are gaining weight, even if you're stepping on a scale. But I really want to tell you that you have to accept that part as the part of your journey. So there is no easy way how that you're going to reach to the point where you are feeling that you are happy at. There is obviously like the things that that happen with our body. Like, so let's say if we have been in a deficit, and if we have been quite in control of our food intake, or our lifestyle, and if we kind of manage to have everything in control, what's going to happen, we are going to start getting tired from it. We are going to probably say, this is just annoying, I just want to go back to my old habits, because over there is much more comfortable. Because it is difficult to, let's say, go to bed earlier. It is difficult to stop when you're feeling full and you're just like, you actually want to eat forever. But I really just want to again raise awareness for you to just start listening and observing without any judgment, without criticism, without labeling I'm good or I'm bad. It's learning. That's how we learn. And this is the thing, expecting ourselves we're never going to go back to the behavior they've had before. It's impossible, because we are going to get there. So for example, I have been this week, I've been kind of working a lot, and I notice I am getting into my old habits, because I basically do the same thing. I am, let's say, I haven't been going for a walk on two days in a row, and I didn't have time. I was prioritizing work over me cooking and sitting, and doing what I'm telling you to do, which basically again just shows that it doesn't matter how much you practice, you overcome all those struggles. We are always at some point we are going to face them, and that's okay. You're not going to ruin anything. It's just a process, and you just accept that as literally stepping stone and something to overcome. And again, go back to, okay, what works for you is that again, back to mindful eating, again noticing what you're actually choosing to eat, to slow down when you are eating your meals. And also it can be that you can literally just give yourself a break, like 1, 2, 3 weeks, as long as it takes, but to really be kind with yourself. And then you need that break from let's say really really being careful about what you do. And when you kind of feel like ready, then you can literally start doing all those steps that you've learned in this program all over again. Am I eating food because I really like it, I want to eat it, or am I eating this just for the sake of it? And you always just need to know that you always have a choice. So you always choose what is better for you. And that is literally the whole point about this, for you to be happy with your food choice, to make the choice first that satisfies you, that gives you, let's say, if it's, let's say, nutrient dense food. Is it like if your appetite is going all over the place, you feel like you actually can't stop eating? That's the protein and fibers, or like vegetables and fruit, that's going to play a key in your food intake. But also that it's kind of our food intake is supported with our daily habits. So sleep, I know I'm boring, it's sleep, is how often do we eat, what we eat, what we eat, what is our hydration, what is our energy expenditure. So all those things together are playing the part of your food intake and your food choices. Also, when it comes to kind of emotions, so emotional eating, we've already said, if emotional eating is your struggle, then I'm going to say that that should be your focus. How many times are you, let's say, you are just going to make a little modification around your emotional eating. So I'm going to say, forget about everything else. Forget about three regular meals. You focus on how you deal with your emotions. If that's something that food and drink come as your comfort, that is something to acknowledge. And again, go to that toolbox, make that decision. Deal with your emotions in a way that something is going to help. Food is never going to help, and drink never going to help with emotions. So to go towards food and drink, it's just, it is difficult. But then when you're struggling with that, and if you really need help and support, do please do message me. So basically, when we are so let's say when we are losing weight, you might notice that you're going to start having increased appetite, increased hunger. You might feel that you can kind of graze throughout the day all the time. So that's basically happens where our body is actually like really struggling with, let's say, with the weight loss and kind of with that lower body weight. So what happens is our body is giving us the signals that it's not happy with a lower energy intake, and it's basically just giving you the signals through the hunger and increased appetite. And that's kind of, I want you to recognize that when you start feeling hungrier, and if you have an increased appetite, so there's obviously other things. If you've had enough sleep, if you are where you are in your cycle, are you dehydrated, have you eaten enough protein? So it's always literally going back to those things. But if it's none of those things, it just means that you're just going to slightly increase your food intake to let your body refuel. So because obviously your body really needs, let's say, food, but there is the limit, and there is kind of, I would say, there is a common sense in the, not a fine line, but there is a line where you feel like, okay, I'm literally going to eat whatever is in front of me, and I'm going to, let's say, eat slightly more. I don't know if you're counting calories, to literally go to your maintenance and to know where is your maintenance. So it's just kind of like the last thing I'm just going to say, kind of when you reach to the point of your, let's say, ideal body weight, or the body weight that you're happy at. That when you look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I'm happy. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever felt that, but that's something that obviously it comes from self awareness, self love, self care. Um, Also, it's just kind of how we feel just about ourselves as a human being, rather than just kind of what our body looks like. But when you reach, so let's say, to the point where you feel happy at, that is something really to consider. Is what I'm just going to say, it's, let's say, about the calories. Our weight management is all about calories, calories in, calories out. But as I said, because we are complicated human beings, everything comes in consideration through our emotions, thoughts, self-esteem, beliefs and experiences, whatever, our lifestyle. So that all is literally going to affect that food intake and also the energy expenditure. So when it comes to that ideal, well, like that happy place of your body weight, that's really important to know kind of that at that time we're going to require less energy to consume for us to maintain that body weight. So for example, when I was 80 kilos, I was requiring like 2,400 calories maintenance. And now I'm literally in between 1,800 to 2,000. So that is, I don't know. So for example, it can be like one whole meal. I'm eating less per day to maintain my body weight. So that is really something to consider if you're not planning to track any calories. It's really like taking in consideration kind of, when people are talking about cutting the portions or making the portions smaller, kind of with different strategies. So making maybe smaller plate, putting less on your plate, and don't take second serving. Again, kind of know where the higher calories are coming from. The higher calories are always coming from carbohydrates, because we don't just eat plain carbohydrates. We always add, let's say, if you're eating rice, you're going to add probably lots of sauces on it, or you're going to put oils or fats. And if you're, for example, having pasta, you're never going to eat, you're never going to eat plain pasta. So you're always going to add cheese, butter, or whatever, kind of to make it more tasty, and that's kind of where the calories are coming from. So if you're thinking about, let's say, managing your food intake, I am for balance. Well, the balance, what for me balance means that I'm going to eat absolutely everything, all the foods that I like, but I will be aware of my calorie intake. So for example, I don't count calories, but if I'm literally going to the shop and buying myself food, especially everything is in a package, I will always turn and look how many calories it has. If I, let's say, if there is a food that I don't know, if this is drinks, if it's let's say sweets, or I will always turn and just have a look, not out of any obsession. It's literally just out of curiosity, just to own the information, to know the information. So, and that's how I'm basing my choices. But if you're kind of planning to go into kind of plain and simple, let's say, healthy meals, that obviously kind of we're talking about lean meat, vegetables, fruit, that is all the foods out. Even if you're looking potatoes, but potatoes without oils and kind of without fried foods, that's all the food that we literally can manage our a lower calorie food intake. But where kind of the trouble happens and we start eating the foods, packet foods, processed foods, takeaways, that is kind of where everything is kind of coming into, let's say, in the higher calorie amount, and that we actually don't even know what it has. So if you, whatever your option is, it's like if you come to your ideal body weight, it's really important to know that you are having your new maintenance. Hello, Leila. No, go to Dada. Go to Dada. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't give them games, so I have no idea. Go to Dada. Go to Dada and ask him. So you are having your lower maintenance, okay? And if you don't want to track it, I'm really suggesting that if you're literally, so I would really suggest whatever your normal food is that you're consuming on a regular basis, I'd really suggest that you put it down on a oh, thank you, Caroline. So that you literally write down the foods that you consume on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and just write down the numbers next to it, write down the amount. Because this is the thing, it's like we just kind of need to learn to adjust rather than thinking, oh, I don't care whatever it is, is going to be somewhere. It's all that food needs to, it needs to go somewhere. Or is it going to kiss, Caroline? All that food needs to go somewhere. Or you're going to spend it, or you're going to store it. And that's why I'm going to keep saying energy expenditure is important, because if you don't burn it, whatever option for you is walking, it burns literally. Me doing, let's say, walking, I don't know, whatever kind of this watch, I don't believe much in these things, but let's say kind of just something that's tracking, but my hour of walk burns more calories than, let's say, if I would be doing the gym lifting weights. So it's really important to know that with walking you can do magic when it comes to to maintain your body weight, or especially like if you want to make in a process of change that you want to do something about it. So just kind of literally to wrap it up, so basically today I was just talking about how to sustain food intake when reducing your body fat. It is really being aware of your new maintenance calories, or your new maintenance energy intake that is lower. So you can go back to calorie calculator and you can again recalculate your calories, bring that awareness to it. It's important. You don't have to track it. You choose your way, but to respect that energy balance will really give you an insight in that you can still have the foods and drinks you love and to have it on a regular basis, but you have to implement it when it comes to the having you have the bank balance. You're simply having a bank balance, how much calories your body needs to burn, and you literally just put that amount in your body. And when you really start understanding that, and I would say when you start respecting that, that literally the whole concept of your weight is changing. So this is it. So if you have any questions, do please give me a shout. So I really hope this was helpful. And so this is basically the video for week 7. And the motivation, if you don't have a motivation, it's find the inspiration in something. It's just incredible. And also don't lean on motivation, lean on discipline, on grind, on daily habits that you practice every single day. You turn up every single day. For nobody else, but just for you. So anyway, I hope you're all good, and I hope maybe some of you went to the gym. I still haven't been to the gym, but anyway. So so happy week 7. Sending you all lots of good vibes, and make sure you keep smashing it, because you are doing this for you. So happy Sunday, and I'll see you this week.